about comic books.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yes, that was our fact checker. She's got a lot of our facts. Correct.
Yes, good. Before we go any further, I want to introduce our man in the booth. Thanks for introducing us, Booth Man.
Resident supervillain.
Wow,
Having a good old time back here.
There's a bunch of nitrous in the booth. You're gonna be giggling a lot.
it doesn't leak out because there's like there's a black scrim. Black
Scrim! Oh, so it's a theatrical.
Theater term. Thank you guys so much for coming. We're very excited to have you here. Pete, there was something you wanted to complain about.
Yes, I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty pissed about the Oscars. Persepolis was fucking rotten.
Yeah.
Fuck Ratatouille, whatever the hell it's called.
Bullshit.
You told me before we were coming out here you were going to say Surf's Up got robbed.
Yeah.
You were like, Surf's Up, Surfing Penguins, best movie I've ever seen.
Best movie ever. No, Persepolis was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I had something to say, and then fucking
Did you
give
even
it
see
to
it?
him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I saw it.
That's a lie. Ratatouille, though.
You saw that piece of shit?
What?
It's a horrible movie.
Did you see Ratatouille?
No.
Alright, fair enough. I'm very excited about the show we have tonight. We are celebrating roasting. I don't know, celebrating sounds kind of weird.
It's the end of something.
Yeah, because it's, but we are celebrating the life of the series Cable Deadpool, which entered with issue 50, and we're very excited to have most, if not all, of the creative team here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get this wrong. I'm so sorry. He's going to make fun of me, but Fabian, Nicieza, Ryan Brown, and Nicole. That's called a sit. That's not called a sit.
Wow.
Did I get it even close? Did I get your name even close?
No. It's like,
I even did.
it's good that you practiced it 2 or 3 times right before the show.
Well, see this. I said, Nicieza.
Nicieza.
What I did is right before we went on, I said it a bunch of wrong ways, so I made him do it wrong. Just that. You're welcome.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. We're very excited to have you here. So what's the reception so far been to Cable Deadpool issue 50? Pretty good, right?
Yeah, all the reviews I've read have been really positive.
Yeah, it was a great comic.
Thanks. Yeah, people just, they seem sad that it's ending. So,
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Marvel's response was they were thrilled it was happy that it's done.
There's a positive review.
And you've written it for the life of the series, and you came on which issue?
My first issue was 28.
Okay. All right. So that's a pretty long run for a title, especially something. I guess what would you call it? A tangential X title, maybe something like that.
A low-selling book, that's what we like to call it in the industry.
Well, how did it keep coming so long? Was it the fans? Was it your perseverance?
I think it was mostly just the steadiness of the audience base. It wasn't making huge numbers, but it was remaining really consistent in how it was selling. And so because of that, it just was a rock and a bastion of stability. Yes.
A bastion of stability and minimal profits for the company.
Well,
I think they kept renewing us out of pity, for me mostly. And
Nothing wrong with that.
And then nothing wrong with that at all, actually. And then eventually, I wasn't worth the pity anymore, so they decided that,
Well, with that being said, after this series, there's a Cable series launching, and then I also heard there's a Deadpool series launching later on. Is that correct?
those are happening. They're not happening with me though. So
okay.
yeah, it'll all the announcements and things are coming out through Marvel, but I'm not personally involved with
Then
them.
we
So
don't
they're
wanna
coming
do
out
that.
this year.
If I can speak for us.
Well, what was the process of putting this series together like for you guys?
From the start, you were actually the only one of us who was involved from the very beginning. I started working on it from the first issue, but by that time it was already approved and underway. The creative team was put together, so you can probably talk about that.
I got an unexpected call from Mike Martz, who's now an editor at DC, but I've known him for years, and he was editing at Marvel at the time. And I didn't expect the call because I'd kind of not been working for them for several months at that point. And he said, you think we could do a book with Cable and Deadpool in it? Yeah. You sure? Whatever, yeah. And he goes, because we had a meeting and we're talking about characters and no one really knows the characters, so your name came up and we were wondering if there's a way to make a book with the two of them in it together. And I said, and am I going to be writing this book in which you will then pay me to do? And they said yes. So then I just broke it down. I broke down a story. Back then it was, there was a wait for the trades mentality to how you actually structured your stories in the books. It was a dark and stormy time when Bill Jamison was running the company toward the tail end of his tenure, and everything had to be trade paperbackable. So in his mind, it's a technical term, yeah, it's insider talk. In his mind, Cable and Deadpool weren't going to meet till the end of issue 6. I had the meeting at the end of issue 1, I think it was. And Mike Martz is stuck between a rock and a hard place because he knows what the right thing to do is, and he's got the president of the company who's putting his fingers in every pie he possibly can, wanting to stretch it out for 6 issues. A reader's going to wait 6 issues for the 2 title characters to meet each other. And then Jemis was willing to compromise and make it issue 3, I believe it was, if I recall. And we humored him and said, okay. And then I think he got fired while we were in the process. We'll have him meet at the end of issue 1, which is what it should be anyway. Because it's not Tales of Suspense, it's not an old 1960s split book with 2 separate features. It was a book that was supposed to have both of them in it.
But I don't even get how that would be like, even for a trade to be like, yeah, let's.
Well, that's the other thing, yeah.
Well, it draws out the mystery. Is Cable?
Well, I think the mystery ends right about here. Cable and Deadpool. There.
I don't know. I read issue 50 and I still wasn't sure.
It would be like watching 12 episodes of Joni Loves Chachi and the 2 of them don't love each other.
It's like that Keanu Reeves movie, Magic Mailbox or whatever.
Lake House.
Lake House.
You lost me, Keanu Reeves.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry.
It's a fantastic thing. Really touching.
You haven't seen that one either, have you?
You're weird.
Yeah, you're very weird.
If you've been reading the last set of issues, actually lately, Cable hasn't been in the book. It's just been Deadpool teaming up with a series of guest characters. So what we've been doing is crossing out Cable's name on the logo, so it's still visible, but it would cross out and it would be Fantastic Four.
Doctor Strange.
But you will notice that here for our finale issue, it actually does go back to saying Cable and Deadpool, and the reason behind that is because the post office got mad at us for messing with the logo and putting in a title that wasn't the actual title.
Really?
So, yeah, he told me to tell you.
When will we get rid of that bullshit agency called the Post Office? Follow me, let's go now. 33rd Street.
I was thinking about that the other day. I'm going to establish my own post office. I'm going to start small. I'll just do 1 block radius.
Nice.
And then I'm going
We go door to door and be like, please, I'll deliver your mail. Who are you, sir?
Then I can only deliver it at 1 block radius.
Right.
All right, this is a funny idea to me.
What just happened? What just
I
happened?
just didn't put anything in the title. Because I didn't know what to put. I was like, should I change it?
Yes, it was all because of you.
Alright, no, post office. That makes more sense.
What's great about this series is it has a very unique voice of all of kind of the Marvel Universe, definitely, but all across the board. Deadpool, the characters had that voice, I think, throughout since he was made. And it's sad.
I hope so.
No, but
I started him, it was my voice, it was my
right, but it's even
neuroses, as it were, that were in print.
Well, I guess what he's trying to say is you have a very funny, natural voice.
Could you sing a little bit for us right now?